Mishnah learning today is sponsored by Ricky and Early Neumann, in memory of Hodaya Neumann. Hodaya Inat, Bat Harav Yosef Udvora. To dedicate a day of learning, visit mishnah.co/support.
Okay, we're on Shabbat, Perek Yudchet, Mishnah Bet. We're going to basically conclude the Halachot of muktzeh. So the Mishnah says the following. Chavilei kash, if I have bundles of kash, straw, chavilei etzim, or bundles of wood, sticks, chavilei zradim. Zradim, the Bartanura says, are anfei ilan lachim, still moist branches. So if I have bunches of these, so the question is, what was I intending to do with them before Shabbat started? So the Mishnah says the following. If I think even in my mind, right, if I had designated them for animal food, then I can move them. Why? Because I intended to use them on Shabbat. But if not, then normally the Kahati says these were normally used for fires, for lighting, for firewood, for heat, etc. And therefore, they had a din of muktzeh mamash. They were literally muktzeh. And therefore, v'im lav, and if not, then ein mataltin at time. You can't move them, you can't handle them. We'll continue. Koven et asal lifnei arfochim kedesh ya'alu v'yerdu. So let's say I have a bucket. I have a chicken. I don't know if you heard of the mega chicken. Okay, there's some huge chicken. So this is actually a Snopes video. But look, the chicken, in order to get up and down, it needs that brick. It needs that brick to get out of the chicken coop. All chicken coops, in my limited research, all chicken coops are elevated in some way. They all have a way of getting up and down, probably to prevent animals from getting into the chicken coop. But now I have a chicken, and he can't get into the chicken coop. Somebody moved the thing, and he needs to get in. So the Mishnah says, I can turn over a basket, lifnei avrochim, before the chicks, kadesh ya'alu v'yerdu, so they'll get up and down. So you'll ask yourself, what's wrong? What's the problem with using this for the chicks? So there's a problem we've learned before. We've seen this in different Mishnayot. I'll just write it for you. Before we get to Chai Nosei Tatzmo, there's a problem of ein mevatel kli mehechano. Okay, I can't, levatel means to nullify or to negate. Let me see if I can move that over so you can see it. I made it a little bigger. Levatel, I'm not allowed to be mevatel, to nullify a kli, a vessel, mehechano, from its prepared state. I have a bucket, I have a basket, and I want to use that basket in order to use it for basket things. And now I'm going to turn it over, okay, and use it for chicks. Chicks are muktzeh. We've learned, we're just switch the Mishnah in, here we are, Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav. If you recall, this is in Shabbat, Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav. If I have a ner, the Mishnah said, ein notnim kli tachat haner, l'kabel boat hashemen. If I have a ner, if I have a candle, remember the candle receptacle, and it's dripping. So I want to take a kli, I want to take another kli, another vessel, another utensil, and catch the dripping. Why can't I catch a dripping? Mishum, the Mishnah says, the shemen muktzehu. Shemen was muktzeh. Asur levatel kli mechano. There's that phrase. I wonder where I got that from. You can't be mevatel. So the question now is, can I take a bucket and use it to help Super Chicken get into his chicken coop? So the Mishnah says I can. Why can I? So the Bartanura says one of two reasons. In this case, it's not mevatel kli mechano. Why? Because the chicks don't stand on the thing. They don't stay there, and therefore they're going to go up and go down, and then you can go back to using your bucket, your basket afterwards. Or there's another opinion. According to the opinion, hey, wait. We have an opinion that says you're only allowed to move a kli for something that's movable itself. You're not allowed to touch your chicken. Animals are muktzeh. I hate to break this to you. A lot of animal owners don't know this, but animals are muktzeh. Okay? So how can I move the bucket for the chicken? So he says, this is also according to Kahati, muki, we must say the matnitim, we must establish, and the Mishnah is talking about a case of sarich li mikomo shel hakli. What do you know? I happen to need where that bucket is sitting, or where the basket is sitting. So once I can move it anywhere, and therefore I move it to help my chicken. Now we're talking about chickens. The Mishnah says, Tanugolet shebarcha, let's say I have a chicken that ran away. Dochinota acheti kanes. I can push it until it gets back into tikanes, until it gets back into its place. He says, but I can't drag it, as we'll see. And we're going to say I'm not allowed to drag it. Why? Because if I drag it, then that's tiltul. So I can push it. Okay, litaltalin means to move. Here it says I can push it until it goes in. But I can't lidaded. We're going to see this word midadin. Lidaded. Okay? So the Mishnah says midadin, but I can drag agalim usiachim. I can drag calves. Siachim are, here we are, foal, young ass, donkey. So you can drag a foal, you can push them. Okay, why am I allowed to push them? Midadin agalim usiachim b'shuta rabim. Even b'shuta rabim. Why am I allowed to do that? The Bartuner says, Medadin b'tzavaro b'tzadado, and I can, okay, u'mina'aneh lo raglav, and he moves, and I can move his feet. Why? Because he's gonna walk, as we'll soon see. Similarly, Isha medadat b'na, a woman can push her child. I'm Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, Eimatai. This is not a machloket. Rabbi Yehuda is clarifying. When is this true? When the child is old enough to pick up one foot and put down another foot, meaning when the child moves himself. But if the child is dragging himself, asur. I'm not allowed to do it in Rishut Rabim, because then we don't invoke the principle of, and there's where I have this for you, Chai noseat atzmo. Halacha is a thing that's alive carries itself. Since it carries itself, you can even push it, you can move it like a child that can walk. Since he can carry himself, so carrying him is not considered carrying him Rishut Rabim. But if the child is not old enough that he won't be made notel echad amaniach echad, if the child's not old enough to move his feet on his own, then when you drag the child, he's going to pick up his feet, and then you're going to be carrying him Rishut Rabim, which is forbidden. We'll stop here. As always, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to contact me, rspalter@gmail.com. I will dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.